What's the best day to visit each park at Disney World? I analyzed 6 years of wait time data to answer exactly that, which is an objectively crazy thing to do. Unless you are serious about saving time at Disney World, because knowing the best and worst days at each park can help you avoid a really common mistake that most Disney guests make, one that could cost you hours of precious vacation time. The mistake is just human nature. They pick which park to go to based on what they're most excited to do first. Oh, we've heard good things about that Guardians of the Galaxy ride, let's go there first. Then we gotta do Magic Kingdom, see all the classics, then the thrill rides at Hollywood Studios, and we'll check out Avatar Last at Animal Kingdom. So why is this a mistake? Planning your Disney World vacation this way is intuitive and makes sense, but it ignores the crowd patterns that occur within the week. You might be aware that Disney has seasonal crowd patterns. The holidays are really busy, while August and September are less crowded. But what most people don't realize is that there are also crowd patterns based on day of the week. And this can have a big impact. Last year, the difference between the most crowded day of the week and the least crowded day of the week was anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes for the average wait time depending on the park. Now, if that doesn't sound like a lot, think again, because that's the average of every single ride with a wait time in the park. So you're talking about a difference of 8 minutes for every single thing that you do. If you do just 8 attractions in a day, that's over an hour of time during a day in the park. Think about it another way. On average, the most crowded day of the week is 25% more crowded than the least crowded day. And you're gonna feel that much more on the most popular rides. The wait on Dumbo might go from 15 minutes to 20 minutes, but the wait on Tron might go from an hour to 75 minutes or even 90 minutes. And it's not just the rides that will take longer. Getting into the parks, restaurants, transportation, the shops can all feel much more crowded or much less crowded just based on which day of the week you picked. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how to pick which days to go into which parks the right way. Hi, I'm James from Guide to WDW, and you asked for it. Literally, this is one of my most requested videos ever. A couple of years ago, I made several videos that helped hundreds of thousands of people figure out which days to pick to visit each park at Disney World, based on years of crowd data and decades of personal experience. But those videos were based on wait times through 2022, and I keep getting asked when I'm going to update my recommendations based on new data. Well, it hasn't been easy. I've been at it day and night, crunching numbers, building bigger spreadsheets, and putting my body at risk, because carpal tunnel is worth it if you can wait less time to go on Slinky Dog Dash. And the new data genuinely changes things up a lot. I've updated my recommendations using wait times through all of 2024 via thrillldata.com, putting more emphasis on recent years. I'm also going to give you better insight into the data. I'll start by giving recommendations park by park, and then break everything down day by day to let you know how to use all of this information to plan your Disney vacation, so be sure to stick around to the end for that. But first, let's start with the park with some of the biggest rides and the longest lines. Hollywood Studios. Picking the right day of the week can help you save a lot of time on Tower of Terror, Millennium Falcon, and Rock'n' Roller Coaster. But picking the wrong day might mean that you miss the train on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Let's start by counting down the worst days at Hollywood Studios, starting at the 4th worst, Tuesday. This used to be a terrible day at Hollywood Studios that has gotten relatively better. From 2021 through 2023, Tuesday was either the worst or the second worst for wait times. But in 2024, it ranked 4th. It was also the most crowded day for only 2 out of 12 months in 2024, down from 5 out of 12 months in 2022. So Tuesday has a history of being pretty crowded at the studios, but now it's very clearly middle of the pack compared to the rest of the week. The 3rd worst is Thursday. While Tuesday is improving, Thursday is consistent in not being great. It had the 3rd longest wait times over the last 6 years combined, also ranking 3rd in 2022, 2023, and 2024. The 2nd worst day of the week at Hollywood Studios is Monday, which is problematic across all 4 theme parks. Monday is just a busy day at Disney World, as people tend to start their vacations on that day, and Hollywood Studios is no exception. Over the last 6 years, it averaged 1st for longest wait times, but only 3rd and 2nd over the last 2 years. But Monday isn't the most crowded day for most of the year. It was the most crowded for 4 months in 2024 and 3 months in 2023. And it was actually the least crowded once in September 2024. But the worst day of the week to visit Hollywood Studios is now Friday, having the longest average wait times at that park over the last 2 years. And it was the most crowded day of the week 5 months in 2023 and for 4 months in 2024, almost 40% of the time over the last 2 years. Okay, we've covered the worst. Now, which days should you actually visit Hollywood Studios? The third best day is Saturday, and it's been consistent. Third lowest wait times over the last 6 years, and in the top 3 for lowest wait times each of the last 3 years. It had the lowest wait times for 4 months in 2023 and 2 months in 2024. But Saturday also did have the longest wait times 1 month in each of those years. The second best day is Sunday. It had the lowest wait times in 2023 and second lowest in 2022 and 2024. Sunday had the lowest wait times 7 out of the first 8 months in 2023, but recent trends aren't as stellar. Since September 2023, it's been the best day of the week in just 3 months and the worst in 2 months. But still, Sunday is a good bet for most of the time at Hollywood Studios. However, the best day by far is Wednesday. It has the lowest average wait times over the last 6 years, and in 2024 it wasn't even close. It had the lowest wait times 7 out of 12 months last year, and has never had the longest wait times in any month over the past 3 years. Before I get to the next park, let's talk about special events that will affect crowds at Hollywood Studios, starting with extended evening hours. It is a perk that's available only to guests at deluxe Disney resorts, Shades of Green, Swan, Dolphin, and the Swan Reserve. On extended evening hours days, guests at those resorts can enjoy the parks for an extra 2 hours after regular park closing with much shorter lines. However, this also causes crowds to go up during regular park hours, meaning longer lines for everyone. For EPCOT and Magic Kingdom, extended evening hours follows a more predictable pattern. But at Hollywood Studios, it's strangely rare and seemingly random. Every now and then, Disney brings the perk to the studios for 3 to 4 weeks, but you can't really predict the season or the day. It came back for a few Wednesdays last September and October, and a single Friday early this January, but there are no more currently scheduled. In 2023, it only happened a handful of nights and bounced between Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. All of this is to say that extended evening hours at Hollywood Studios happens when Disney feels like it, and it will be announced a few weeks ahead of time, so pay attention to the schedule. Because like I said earlier, extended evening hours causes wait times to go up during the regular park day. Next, Jollywood Nights, which runs on select nights in November and December. Crowds during regular park hours are typically lower during Jollywood Nights. But as I'll show later, this doesn't have as big of effect on wait times as Magic Kingdom's holiday parties, because Hollywood Studios closes at 7 p.m. to regular guests on party nights versus 6 p.m. at Magic Kingdom. Also, Jollywood Nights has fewer event days, running only twice a week, and never really on the same night week to week. But even with our limited data set, there is a noticeable dip in crowds on party days, and non-party guests can still see the first viewing of Fantasmic. So going to Hollywood Studios on party days is a good idea because it is possible to get a full day at Hollywood Studios on party days while enjoying lower lines. We have a lot more crowd data to get through, but before we park hop over to the next park, be sure to get subscribed to Guide to WDW for more Disney World tips and advice. Let's take the Skyliner over to EPCOT, my personal favorite theme park and the only place in the world where you can get sushi right after going on the Finding Nemo ride, you heartless monster.
It's okay, Daddy's here.
It's also one of the trickier parks to analyze because there are huge draws that don't report wait times, so they aren't reflected in the data. But I'll cover those as we get to them. Let's get right into the worst days, starting with the third worst day of the week at EPCOT, Friday, which ranked third worst for wait times in 2024 and second worst in 2023, and had the longest wait times for 2 out of 12 months in each of the last 2 years. What makes Friday even worse is that the wait times don't tell the whole story for 3/4 of the year. The EPCOT festivals are a huge draw on the weekends, especially for locals. The long wait times for the food booths and the concerts aren't included in this data. In terms of wait times and local crowds, Friday is very similar to the second worst day at EPCOT, but locals visiting for the festivals don't show up as much until the late afternoon or evening on Friday, so visiting on a Friday is not the worst idea. The second worst day at EPCOT is surprisingly a switch pick from my last best days video, going from one of the best days to visit EPCOT to now one of the worst, Saturday. While Saturday had the lowest wait times in 2022, things are starting to look a lot more like they did before 2020. Saturdays had the second longest wait times in 2019, and in 2023 and 2024, things have been similarly crowded, ranking third longest in 2023 and second longest in 2024. So data-wise, it's very similar to Friday, but Saturdays have the festival crowd issue I just mentioned all day long. So even though there are 2 months over the last 2 years where Saturday had the lowest crowds of the week, it ranks slightly worse than Friday on my list. Previous crowd patterns made Saturday seem like a good day to go get lower waits on rides while locals enjoy the fest, but that's not really the case for the vast majority of the year anymore. Still, if Friday or Saturday are the only days that you can visit EPCOT, you shouldn't stress too much, because the worst day of the week to visit EPCOT is way worse, with wait times 10% longer than Friday or Saturday. That's Monday, which has had the longest wait times at EPCOT every year for the past 4 years. And breaking the data down by month, it had the longest wait time 72% of all the months over the past 3 years. Why is this? Extended evening hours, which almost always falls on Mondays at EPCOT and has had a dramatic impact on wait times. They debuted in 2021, really solidifying Monday as the worst day of the week at EPCOT. In fact, wait times on Monday are 13% longer compared to an average day and 25% longer than the day with the lowest wait times. Now, if you have access to the extended evening hours perk, that doesn't mean you should avoid EPCOT. That perk is really nice. Just be aware that wait times will be longer throughout the entire regular day. If you have a park hopper, consider a different park for earlier in the day, and then spend your evening at EPCOT. So what days should you pick for EPCOT? My pick for third best is Sunday, with consistently low wait times on average over the past 3 years. And last year, it had the lowest wait times 4 out of 12 months. Interestingly, Sundays had the shortest wait times over the summer in 2024, when EPCOT didn't have any festival. That was the first year since 2019 that we had Diet EPCOT in the summer, and it's expected to be the same way for 2025. Like I mentioned before, crowds do increase on the weekends during festivals, and that won't be reflected in the wait time data. But Sunday is much better than Friday or Saturday now at EPCOT. My pick for second best day at EPCOT is Tuesday, which has consistently ranked in the top 3 for lowest wait times each of the last 5 years, most years ranking second. Tuesday did have the lowest wait time 4 months throughout 2023, but only once in 2024, and it actually had the longest wait times just this last December. However, for the majority of Disney vacations throughout the year, Tuesday's a good pick for EPCOT. But what's the best day to visit EPCOT? It's another day that isn't even close. Wednesday, which had the lowest average wait times over the last 6 years. But when you look at the recent data, the picture becomes even better. Last year, Wednesday was ranked number 1 for lowest wait times, with waits about 10% better than an average day at EPCOT, and had the lowest wait times more than half of the time over the last 2 years, 6 months in 2023 and 7 months in 2024. Now that you know the best and worst days at EPCOT, let's take a walk on the wild side at Animal Kingdom, which has some of the best theming and some of the best rides at Disney World. It also has something surprising: the biggest difference between the best day of the week and the worst day of the week, at a staggering 32% last year. So let's get into which days to avoid, starting with the third worst day at Animal Kingdom, which actually might be a good day to pick: Monday. I'll explain, but first let's dive into the data. Looking at the average wait times, Monday was the worst day in 2022, second worst in 2023, and third worst in 2024. But over the last 2 years, it only had the longest wait times 2 months in 2023 and 3 months in 2024, and was actually the best day to visit twice over the last 2 years. So the data for Monday isn't great, but also not terrible. So why should you pick it for Animal Kingdom? Like I said before, Monday is a busy day across the board at Disney World. but it's not quite as bad at Animal Kingdom. I'll get into this more later in the video when I give my day-by-day recommendations. The second worst day at Animal Kingdom is Saturday, which has been a real Jekyll and Hyde type of day. In 2022, it had the lowest wait times at Animal Kingdom. But that year was an outlier because it's been among the worst days to visit every other year over the last 6 years. In fact, averaging the last 6 years together, Saturday has the longest wait times at Animal Kingdom. And it was pretty bad, particularly in 2024, having the longest waits 4 out of 12 months last year. But one day is just slightly worse at Animal Kingdom: Friday. The stats for average wait time are pretty similar to Saturday, but while Saturday had a good 2022, Friday at Animal Kingdom has been really consistently bad over the last 3 years. It had the longest waits for 3 months in 2022, 6 months in 2023, and 5 months in 2024. So recent trends make it my pick for worst day at Animal Kingdom. What about best days? Let's start with the fourth best day, Tuesday, which hasn't been that great at Animal Kingdom until recently. In 2024, it had the third lowest average wait times, but Tuesday wait times were on the higher side in 2022 and 2023. So it could be a good pick if 2024 was the start of a trend and not just an outlier. My pick for third best day in Animal Kingdom is Sunday, which is hit or miss. It's had the lowest wait times during 2 months in each of the last 3 years, but it's also had the longest wait times once or twice in each of those years too, and always in September, weirdly enough. But if you're visiting during the rest of the year, Sunday is a solid pick. The second best day at Animal Kingdom has been thankfully consistent, Thursday, which had either the second or third lowest wait times every year over the last 3 years. Breaking down the data by month, Thursday was the best day to visit twice over the last 2 years, and it has never been the worst day to visit over the last 3 years. Thursday is a safe bet for a good day at Animal Kingdom. But a better bet? Wednesday, which once again is the best day by far. Wednesday has had the lowest wait times at Animal Kingdom every year for the past 6 years, and in 2024 it wasn't even close. Wednesday was a full 16% better than an average day at Animal Kingdom based on wait times, and it had the lowest wait times 50% of the months in 2023 and 75% of the months in 2024. Before we get to Magic Kingdom, let's talk about extended evening hours at Animal Kingdom. The situation is like Hollywood Studios, where it happens rarely. It hosted just 4 evenings at the end of 2023, and then sporadically from October 2024 through January 2025, shifting days between Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you're visiting Disney World in the late fall or early winter, just be sure to check the extended evening hours schedule to see if Disney continues this trend of bringing it back, because it will cause wait times to go up. Alright, we've saved the most interesting park for last, Magic Kingdom, which has had some significant changes and frankly shocking new recommendations. But before I break down the best and worst days, we actually need to address something really important that has a big impact on crowds, something I call the party effect. From August through December, Magic Kingdom either hosts Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. The parties start at 7 p.m., meaning that regular park hours end at 6 p.m. Typically, non-party guests will avoid Magic Kingdom on these days because of the shorter operating hours. I actually think that it can be a pretty good idea to go to Magic Kingdom on party days, because you'll actually have shorter wait times before 4 p.m. when party guests can get into the park. You can get a lot done even with the earlier closing time, but that might not work best for you. Like if you don't have a park hopper ticket and want to see the fireworks during your day at Magic Kingdom. The party effect means that for 5 months out of the year, the party days will have lower wait times, and the non-party days will have higher wait times as they soak up the demand from the non-party guests who avoid those party days. So in my ranking for the best and worst days, when there's a difference, I'm actually going to specify if the advice applies to party months, August through December, or non-party months. And let's start there with my pick for the fourth worst day to visit Magic Kingdom, Saturday during party months. During party season, Saturday is packed at Magic Kingdom. Last year, Saturdays had the longest average waits from August to December, and it was the second worst in 2023. What about non-party months? No spoilers for my best days at Magic Kingdom list, but it is dramatically better. The third worst day at Magic Kingdom actually really surprised me because it means that some Disney World advice that I've been giving for literally decades has changed. Since my family founded GuideToWDW.com in 1999, we've been saying that Monday is the worst day at Magic Kingdom. And that's been true until now. Monday got dramatically better in 2024. To a Disney data nerd like me, this is genuinely shocking. For example, Monday was the most crowded day for 9 months in 2022, but 5 months in 2023, and only 3 months in 2024. Last year, during non-party months, Monday was actually the third least crowded day for that part of the year. Now, Monday still isn't great. It was the second most crowded in 2024 and 2020, and then every other year over the past 6 years, it was the most crowded. But still, Monday at Magic Kingdom has gone from a red flag, avoid at all costs, to not the worst idea, especially during non-party months. The second worst day is Tuesday during non-party months. Over the last 2 years, if you look at just January through July, Tuesday has had the longest average wait times, and in 2022 it had the second longest. And looking at month-by-month data, Tuesday had the longest wait times 4 out of 7 months in each of the last 2 years during non-party season. Once Magic Kingdom starts hosting parties, the story changes, as Tuesday is typically a party day with much shorter wait times. But what's my new pick for worst day to visit Magic Kingdom? It's a result that goes against the trend at the other 3 parks. Wednesday. At Magic Kingdom, Wednesday had the longest average wait times in 2024, and it was second in 2023 and 2022. And unlike Tuesday or Saturday, Wednesdays are consistently crowded across the whole year. Why is this? For most of the year, Magic Kingdom hosts extended evening hours on Wednesdays. This perk causes lines during regular hours to spike up, and the draw of extended evening hours at Magic Kingdom seems to lower wait times at the other 3 parks. Over the last couple of years, Disney has paused extended evening hours at Magic Kingdom late in the year from around October to December. But Wednesdays stay crowded because it's a non-party day. So like Saturdays, a lot of people choose Wednesday because it doesn't close early during that season. Since Wednesday is pretty much guaranteed to be crowded no matter when you visit, it's now my pick for worst day at Magic Kingdom. Now, we've covered the worst, let's look on the bright side with the best days to go to Magic Kingdom. Starting with the 4th best day, Tuesdays during party months. Looking at August through December over the last 3 years, Tuesday had the second lowest wait times in 2022 and 2024, and the lowest wait times in 2023. So during non-party months, Tuesday is terrible. But it's great during party season. It would be higher up on the list except for the trade-off of having limited hours for non-party guests. If that's not a deal breaker for you, Tuesday is a great pick. The 3rd best day is another switch pick. Saturdays during non-party months. While Saturday during party season at Magic Kingdom is really crowded, it's actually great from January through July. Last year, Saturday had the longest wait times during party season, but the second lowest wait times during non-party season. And this improvement has been consistent over the last 3 years. So Saturdays during the first part of the year are great and slightly better than Tuesday at the end of the year because you don't have that short hours trade-off. The second best day at Magic Kingdom is a good pick year-round. Friday, which had the shortest wait times in 2022 and the second shortest wait times in 2023 and 2024. Now, because Friday is a party day, things get even better during party season. Fridays during non-party months is not quite as great as Party Fridays, but still solid. But the best day at Magic Kingdom is easily Sunday. Sunday had the second shortest wait times in 2022, and the shortest wait times in 2023 and 2024. In fact, Sunday had the shortest wait times at Magic Kingdom 7 out of 12 months each of the last 2 years. Now, Sunday is better during non-party months. All but one of those lowest wait times came between January and July. But party season has a minimal effect on Sundays, with Sundays staying in the top 2 or 3 best days to visit from August through December. Here's an easy way to remember it. No matter when you're going during the year, there's a great big beautiful tomorrow, but just on Saturday, because in that case tomorrow refers to Sunday, which usually has low crowds. Could I have phrased that in a less confusing way? Yes. But will I? No. Those are the best and worst days at Magic Kingdom. Now, I know I just dropped a ton of data and advice on you. How do you put all of this together to actually apply it to your Disney World vacation? I'm going to break it down for you, ranking which parks I would pick on each day. Now, before I share that, I really want to emphasize that you do not need to be perfect about this. Going to Magic Kingdom on a suboptimal day will not ruin your time. Yes, lines will be longer, but if the only day you can go to Magic Kingdom is a Monday or a Wednesday, you can still have a great time. I get a lot of stressed out comments from people freaking out that I said that the day that they're going to visit is a bad time to go. These recommendations are to help you plan your days if you have some flexibility. But if you don't have that flexibility, just remember that a day at Disney World is almost always better than a day not at Disney World. Okay, which parks would I pick on each day of the week? Let's start with Monday, which is going to be crowded no matter which park you visit. My number one choice would be Animal Kingdom. Monday is the most crowded day for less percent of the year on average. So it's the least worst best pick, if that makes sense. EPCOT would be my last pick due to extended evening hours. Then Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom are kind of tied for second best. It really depends on how it fits into your vacation. I'd probably lean slightly towards Hollywood Studios since Mondays at Magic Kingdom have been bad up until 2024, so Monday feels like a slightly safer bet. On Tuesday, EPCOT is easily my first pick, with Magic Kingdom during party months close behind. It's great if you don't mind the limited park hours. Animal Kingdom comes in at third, not terrible due to recent crowd trends, but not the best. And then Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom during non-party months are solidly in avoid territory. For Wednesday, you have to make a hard choice, because it's the best day at Animal Kingdom, EPCOT, and Hollywood Studios by far. So which would I choose? I'd go for Hollywood Studios first, because it has more big rides than the other two parks, so the relatively lower wait times will give you more bang for your buck. Then I'd pick EPCOT second and Animal Kingdom third, but you really can't go wrong by going to any of those parks on a Wednesday. And Magic Kingdom is a hard pass for all of the reasons I laid out earlier in the video, unless you have extended evening hours and can go in the evening. Thursday is best at Animal Kingdom, my pick for the second best day there. At both Magic Kingdom and EPCOT, Thursday is in the middle of the rankings. Not the best, but not the worst. If you aren't doing Animal Kingdom on this day, either of these would be fine. But avoid Hollywood Studios on Thursday, as it's one of the worst days there. For Friday, there's a clear pick to visit year-round, Magic Kingdom, although during party months it has shorter regular hours, so that may be a reason to avoid it and choose another park. Friday was one of my picks for the worst days at EPCOT, but EPCOT would be my second pick for Fridays. It's not ideal, but it's not the worst, especially in the mornings before locals start showing up during the festivals. Finally, Friday is a pass for me at Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, if I can help it. For Saturday, both Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom during non-party months are good picks. I'd slightly prefer Hollywood Studios since there are some other good days for Magic Kingdom. But the rest of the parks are in worst day categories. Magic Kingdom during party months, Animal Kingdom, and EPCOT, especially during the festivals. Finally, Sunday is a good day across the board, as it's a day that many people leave Disney World. So personally, I'd prioritize Magic Kingdom, with Hollywood Studios close behind. Then I'd pick EPCOT, and last would be Animal Kingdom. But Sunday will be a good day no matter which park you pick. If you want my Disney World cheat sheet that includes all of these recommendations in written form, check out the link in the description for the free download. And if you want to know the best and worst weeks to visit Disney World based on crowd data and special events, you won't want to miss this next video here, where I break it all down. This has been James from Guide to WDW. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon.